In Westeros, winter is not a season. It is a presence. It arrives quietly at first, almost politely. A colder morning, a longer night, a thin layer of frost that doesn't melt away. People notice it, but they don't panic. Not yet. They've seen this before. People say the words, "Winter is coming," like a warning passed down through generations. But for ordinary people, those words are not poetic. They are practical. They mean planning, rationing, waiting. They mean preparing for things that cannot be stopped. And hoping, quietly, that this winter will not be the one that ends everything. Winter in Westeros does not follow a calendar. There is no certainty, no schedule, no promise of when it will end. Some winters last a few months. Others stretch across years, long enough for children to grow up knowing nothing else. People remember winters by what they lost: a brother, a village, a way of life that never returned. Before winter fully arrives, life becomes tense. Harvests are rushed. Fields are worked harder than the soil can tolerate. Grain is measured again and again. Meat is salted until there is no room left to store it. Root vegetables are buried deep in the ground and covered carefully. Firewood is stacked higher than feels reasonable. Then higher. Because no one ever says, "This will be enough." They say, "This might be enough." When the first heavy snow falls, there is a strange calm. People stay indoors more. Roads grow quieter. Work slows. For a moment, winter feels manageable, almost peaceful. This is the lie winter tells. As days shorten, routines change. People wake later, not because they are rested, but because there is less light to work by. Fires are lit earlier and kept burning longer. Smoke hangs in the air constantly, trapped by cold skies. Inside homes, space feels smaller. Families stay close, not out of affection, but necessity. Food becomes the center of every thought. Meals are simpler, portions are smaller. Meat disappears first, then fresh vegetables, then anything that once felt optional. Bread grows harder. Soups grow thinner. Children stop asking questions. Adults stop making promises. Weeks turn into months. Winter settles into the walls, the floors, the bones. Cold becomes permanent. Fingers ache constantly. Sleep comes and goes unevenly. The fire never feels warm enough, no matter how close you sit. People stop counting days. They start counting supplies. Inside households, difficult decisions are made quietly. Who eats more because they still work? Who eats less because they stay indoors? Who needs strength? Who can afford weakness? These choices are never discussed openly. They don't need to be. In villages, relationships change. People help each other early on. They share food. They watch each other's children. They pool resources and offer reassurance. As winter drags on, generosity becomes cautious. Doors close more often. Conversations grow shorter. People remember who still has food and who doesn't. Winter turns community into calculation. In the north, winter is absolute. Snow buries roads completely. Villages vanish from the world beyond their own walls. Travel becomes impossible. If help doesn't arrive before the storms, it never arrives at all. Fires burn day and night. Roofs creak under the weight of snow. Houses collapse without warning. People dig each other out when they can. Sometimes they don't dig at all. Illness spreads easily. Too many people indoors. Too little warmth. Weak bodies made weaker by hunger. What would be a minor sickness in summer becomes deadly in winter. The old go first, then the young. The rest endure quietly. In the south, winter feels different, but no less cruel. The cold is milder, but food shortages hit just as hard. Farms produce nothing. Trade slows. Refugees flee the countryside and flood into cities. Streets grow crowded. Work disappears. Disease spreads faster than truth. Winter pushes people together in places that cannot support them. And when cities break, they break violently. As winter deepens, daily life collapses. Farming stops completely. Trade routes vanish. Roads become traps. Messages don't arrive. News stops traveling. Each region becomes isolated. Kingdoms turn into islands. Villages turn into prisons. The long middle of winter is the worst part. Not the beginning, not the end. This is when hope fades. People stop asking when winter will end. They stop planning for spring. They stop imagining life beyond survival. Days blur together into cold and silence. Endurance replaces ambition. Faith changes during winter. Some people pray harder. Others lose faith entirely. Old gods are remembered. Old superstitions return. Stories are told again and again by firelight. Stories about endless nights. Stories about hunger. Stories about things that move in the dark. Children grow up learning fear before comfort. Winter strips away illusions. Honor doesn't fill empty stomachs. Loyalty doesn't stop the cold. Bravery doesn't create food or warmth. Survival becomes uneven. Those in the right places last longer. Those with preparation endure. Those without resources disappear quietly. Luck matters more than virtue. Most people do not live through winter. They endure it. Lives shrink down to warmth, food, and sleep. Dreams are postponed. Plans are abandoned. Every day becomes a question without an answer. Can we survive tomorrow? When winter finally loosens its grip, it does not leave gently. Snow melts into mud. Roads reopen slowly. People emerge thinner, quieter, changed. Homes stand empty. Villages are smaller. Families are missing pieces that never return. Winter leaves scars, some visible, some permanent. Winter shapes Westeros more than war ever could. It defines its caution, its fear of excess, its distrust of hope without preparation. For kings, winter is a challenge. For ordinary people, it is the enemy that never truly leaves. And when spring finally comes, people do not celebrate loudly. They begin preparing again. Because in Westeros, winter is never gone forever. It is only waiting.